So I'm going to record it so I can get it. So, all right, cool. And so my name's Casey, and I'm trying to do a dual technology here so I don't have it. So looking at comments on the phone and then streaming here. And you know, just the idea and concepts that really have just taken us by surprise, I guess, for some of us, at least I know for me, about 6 years ago. And so I'm just going to share with you guys a few principles that you could really apply to absolutely any area in your life. And then a vehicle that I choose, regardless, you guys, of whatever vehicle you choose, these principles are these principles, and it's how the rich get richer, or what the wealthy are doing. And so I feel like, I don't know if any of you guys can relate, but I felt like I was in Groundhog Day. And I was a nurse, and nursing is an amazing profession. It changed my life, working with sick children and peds oncology and HEMOC. And prior to that, I worked in the adult intensive care unit, and just the value of health and all the things that I learned. But I was tired of like the politics, or not feeling like I could get ahead. And so when I got exposed to these concepts, and then, a vehicle that I chose, and I love being in health and wellness, because I don't care how much time and money you have if you don't have your health, and how I was able to just turn that into really, with what I'm going to show you guys about passive and residual income, I was able to turn that into the equivalent of about having $20 million in the bank. And so if I could show you how to have 5, 10, $20 million, the equivalent of that, through vehicles or through concepts that you can apply, like, is that something worth, putting your time in? So I say yes. So it's really, no matter what you do, you're going to learn something. And if you don't, then that's okay, right? So this is really my mission and my team's mission. I don't just believe money doesn't make you happy, right? It's not. There's every single areas. And I do know, though, for sure that, financial wellness is a form of wellness. And if you don't have that, but I also know relationships, again, emotional health, spiritual health, all of those things matter. And so it's about the whole. And I had stopped dreaming because I figured that this is just the way that it is, right? This is the way that it is. I'm going to go to work for 40 years. Like, that was my idea. But when I aligned myself with dreams again and hopes, and so this is really for people that are outside the box, somebody who just has that internal motivation for something. It's like you just have this feeling that there's got to be something more. I'm here to tell you that there is. And so many of us are part of a movement that is just making the world go round. And, maybe you're somebody that doesn't like this vehicle or network marketing or direct marketing, but maybe it'll give you an idea at least of why somebody that is really passionate about it, is excited about it, and they see it to be the vehicle to create a different future, because this is what normal is. And normal is getting dressed in clothes that you buy for work, driving through traffic in a car that you are still paying for in order to get to a job that you need to pay for the clothes and the car and the house that you leave vacant all day. And then too, I have fur babies, but let's say, parents that are having to spend all that money for daycare to then, go to work. And this is not saying that jobs are bad. Jobs are amazing. Like, what a blessing to be able to have the ability to go to work and put food on the table. But for me, like, that job was a buffer of kind of learning some things. And again, if somebody's, for anybody who's not internally motivated and you just want to go to work for 40 years, like, that's fine. And, kind of live paycheck to paycheck, or just save and just kind of get by, or do a little bit of investment. That's completely okay. So these are concepts, though, that can really kind of elevate that life. And really, you guys, it is a changing economy. And Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicles. Facebook, the world's most popular media owner, leverages other people's content. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. The largest retailer, Amazon, doesn't own a department store. My two T's, doesn't. Something interesting is happening. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of the new economy, but I don't want to take a lot of risk and investment to do it initially. And so that's what I love about just direct marketing and network marketing as well. But again, these concepts will apply for anything for you. Let's see. Okay. So Oftentimes people will be like, oh, learn one of those things, or direct marketing, or, oh, get your head out of the clouds, stop chasing rainbows. But it's like, if you really look at the structure of the 40-40-40 plan, which are, what climbing the corporate ladder and jobs are structured around, to me, that is crazy what I know now. But the education system and like what we're taught is to go get a job and go work for somebody. But there's principles, again, that are governing how you can not have to be in the 40-40 plan, or again, if you want to, that's fine. But I want to talk about like wealth, because wealth is a very different thing than just like money. Money isn't the only thing that makes up wealth for me, but I want everybody to start thinking in terms of value, having an investor mindset. I've worked with a lot of great coaches of millionaires and billionaires, and that's a word that they're constantly using, is about having an investor mindset. And then I always want to think, what's my return on investment? Okay, so I was willing to invest 6 years to go to college, right, get a degree, and then, go work for somebody. That was an investment that I made. Every single time I watch TV or, eat something, we're always investors. So think about that word, ROI. There is a win-win out there, guys. There doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, I just am in so many win-win situations in my life. And so I love that aspect. And then leverage. If leverage is either your best friend or your worst enemy if you don't have it. So I'm going to talk about that. Passive and residual and compounding and geometric growth. I feel like maybe I had heard passive income or residual before. I didn't know anything about it before 6 years ago. And once I learned about it, it became an obsession. Like, I had to have it. And then compounding and geometric, where the sum becomes greater than the whole, versus people who are in linear growth situations, especially with their income. And then the difference, earning interest in things and in life versus paying interest in things and in life, getting paid time and time again. And then the sum of the five. I'm here to tell you, show me who you run with and I'll show you your life. I had mentors tell me that too. Pull up your phone and the last 5 people you've texted with, been in communication with, like, show me what their life looks like, and it will be the sum of the 5 really for you. So, like, who are we listening to? Who are our mentors? Who are we hanging out with? And I know for me, where I want my life to grow, I had to, really start changing some of the noise that was coming in. Not, per se people, but just concepts and ideas. If somebody, was not willing to be a big thinker and dreamer, I wanted to surround myself with big thinkers and dreamers. This is where I started when I started my journey in direct marketing. And this was half of my house. So just half. And if you'll see the half, because it was a duplex, awesome. This was my office where I started. And there's my little boy, still have Mr. Glock. And so in the beginning, you guys, what I could conceive for myself was central heat. Like, what I could conceive for myself was, just paying off some extra things. But again, just central heat, my feet would burn on space heaters. And so you think about like that, because I was a job. I mean, again, nurses, we make decent money, maybe in the South, I guess, depending on where you live, but I was, every 2 weeks, I would take home $1,200. That's after 6 years of college and then, working. And in 4 years, I got a $1.50 raise. Then I saw this as something that I could bring my husband home. Thank you all for those who serve and suit up every single day, and no matter what form or fashion that you serve to keep us all safe. Super grateful that you guys do what you do so that we can have the freedom to do what it is that we choose to do. And I saw this as a way to retire him and not go through deployment. So that was kind of how it started for me. And so I don't know where you are, but this is literally now like my office. These are my office partners right here. These are the 2 precious little dogs that I get to hang out with when I'm home, and I get to travel the world and I get to learn. And there's nothing like growing when you can travel and experience things, all over the world, you guys. And then like, these are business meetings that I get to have, and I've become like best friends with the people that I work with. And so very different than being told who you have to work with, when you have to show up. By no means am I talking about get rich quick, get in, don't work hard. Like, I'm not saying that at all. It doesn't take any effort to create something for yourself. No, absolutely it does. But honestly, far less effort than being in the 40-40-40. Far less than that. So, thinking that I was working 12, 14-hour days, changing time for money. So that's something to really understand. LaDonna, love our poolside meetings. And I don't think, you guys, that majority of people want to get like filthy rich and have all this stuff. I really believe that most people want time with those that they love, experiences that can grow their mind and soul, the ability to just have more choices. For me, that's what I've really come to love, is just always being able to have a choice. And just the ability to like live, peaceful without the financial stress, and more fun and joy. And then people want to help people. People are very service oriented. And so these are my kiddos that I am able to sponsor around the world. It's because I have excess passive income. So those things help. So, again, you got to tap into what it is for you. So these are 2 books that I highly recommend. No matter what you do, they're not about direct sales or network marketing. But this is the #1 personal finance book of all time, Robert Kiyosaki. He's written a few. And then T. Harv Eker, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Now, in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert kind of grew up with his, family, and his dad that was an educated college professor. And then he had his friend's dad that, wasn't, but he was very, very wealthy. And so he didn't have kind of like the college education, but he had he had grown his wealth, right? He had the mindset of somebody who was wealthy. And so he created it. And then Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is all about, well, what are the wealthy doing that the rest of us aren't doing? And so a few key principles. And these really opened my eyes to, which is why I love the vehicle that I'm in, but just no matter what you're doing in life, these concepts should be applied. So I was really disturbed when I saw this article because it doesn't really go to anything other than a few that are concepts that are talked about in those powerful books that are helping people get ahead. 10 moves to boost your wealth in 2018 per CNBC. And it was watch your credit, pay your bills right after payday, pay down credit card debt, improve your credit score, diversify credit cards, build up your emergency fund, increase your financial literacy. We're doing that right now. Definitely a check for that. Stick to a budget. Absolutely, you want to have a budget. Make more. It talked about asking for more work, getting other sources of income, but on exchanging your time for money. I'm like, where is the information on passive and residual income, talking about assets, investments? It wasn't there. And then don't forget your health. Health, all day, every day, I'll preach on that. It definitely is our greatest wealth. Being a nurse, I saw it. And so if we keep doing the things that we've always done, we're always going to get what we've always gotten. And so it's about shifting that concept of, again, how can we get kind of ahead? And this is, it talks about your mindset, what poor people are going to think versus rich people. And when I think of rich, again, I think of just abundance in general in every area of life. But then when I think of, poor, I think of mindset more so than anything. You can be broke right now, right? Not have money or anything. But if you have a wealthy mindset, optimistic, positive, like I think I can, I know I can, I'm going to make a change. Like that is a wealthy mindset to me. And so it's just about kind of matching it with a vehicle then that's for you. And so, but ask yourself, like, where do I fall? Where do the people that I'm hanging out with fall into? Life happens to me. I want to be rich, or, focusing on obstacles. Think negatively about any type of selling or promotion. We're all in sales. I'm here to tell you, I'm not a salesperson, but every single person is selling themselves. As a nurse, I had to sell my proficiency, my skill set, right? I had to go get an education for that, and that return. We're focused on working income. Like I was focused on that for a while, the working income, because I didn't know. Worked hard for my money, all that overtime. And this is something that I know that the wealthy is always constantly learning and growing. Act in spite of fear. You don't have to know what to do. You just got to get started. Fail hard and fail fast is something that I've definitely applied in my life. And, I admire people that have done well and that are successful. I want to always be, on the solution and focused on opportunity. I'm committed to being wealthy. I'm committed to making my money work for me. I'm committed to learning the game of money and how to play it. And I know that I am the creator of my life, and that my thoughts are going to work 24/7 to create with me, and my beliefs. And so that is massive. Ask yourself, where you fit, and it doesn't matter where you fit if you're willing to switch it. So in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, these are concepts that will change your life. And it is the whole quadrant side. So 95% of the population is on the left side of the quadrant and 5% is on the right side of the quadrant. Well, 5% of the population really has about 95% of the wealth. And so 95% of the population, not 5% of the wealth. Over here, you guys, this is huge. You use your limited amount of time to work for money. That's massive. Over here, you compound your time and money works for you. You have leverage. Leverage is happening over here. You yourself are over here. So that is something that if we're not seeing this, read it again, watch it again, realize this concept. And, as an employee, if you stop working, you stop getting paid. Right? So you have no leverage. If you stop going to work, you stop getting paid. Self-employed, I think of small business owners, brick and mortar. There is a lot of risk. There is investment. There is capital. Sometimes you end up working even harder as a self-employed business owner than you do as an employee because you got to be your best employee. It all comes back to you. And again, that investment aspect to get it started. Now, then you think about, okay, systems and big business, you have that leverage. People are working together. And what you could do off your sole effort is now multiplied. And then you have passive excess residual income coming in. And so then you're taking that income and now you're investing it. And again, money puts overalls on for you and goes to work for you every day. And over here, you're working for money. And think about like a store. If your doors aren't open, you're not getting paid. I know for me and my online sources that I have and, having a multi-billion-dollar company backing me up with Isagenix, I always am able to have things happening with or without me, which is awesome. So where are you? Where do you want to be? And if you want to be over here and compound your time and have money start working for you, then keep going. If you have no interest in having money work for you and you want to keep working for money, or you don't want second streams of income, then it's not for you. But evaluating where we are. So leverage is something that it's really easy to understand in this aspect. Dave MacArthur, thank you for laying it out for me like this. If you have one person working 5 days a week, they're able to produce 40 hours. I want you to think in terms of production, right? Remember the wealthy, the rich mindset, they are thinking about getting paid on results, right? So that's something, so production, what's able to be produced in an amount of time. 10 people doing 1.5 hours for 5 days a week, that's a 75-hour production time. So you have 10 people now doing just 1.5 hours for 5 days a week. That's 75 hours. That's massive. 20 people doing 1.5 hours for 5 days a week, 150 hours. If you were working 5 days a week, 24 hours around the clock, the most amount of time that your body has to eject out at all is 120 hours. That is all you have to give. And after the first 48, it's probably going to be kind of crappy because you're going to be freaking exhausted, right? Because it's just go. So ask yourself this. Would I rather earn 1% off of 1,000 people's efforts or 100% off of my sole effort? And they, in turn, can earn off of my effort as well, too. It is a win-win situation, right? That's a wealthy mindset. So I think of wealth in terms of, so much of what Robert Kiyosaki says, and I've experienced it for myself, but the number of days that you can survive without physically working and still maintain your standard of living. Do you have a vehicle that allows you to not work and still earn? Because that is true wealth. And so, an example, okay, expenses, $4,000 per month, and savings, you have $12,000. Your wealth is approximately for 3 months that it would last you, or you'd have to make a lot of changes. This really hit hard for me when I was in an accident. I was bedridden. I wasn't working at all, but I had built my business for, 4.5 years, and I was still earning $35,000, $40,000 a month. Not in action, you guys, because I had wealth built. I created an asset for myself. And you can go to isagenixearnings.com for my vehicle. And again, whatever vehicle that works for you, but like this concept, you have to apply this to your life. I want to shake people like, you don't understand, because it's peace, it's freedom. And, it didn't matter that insurance didn't cover me to go get stem cells or fly out to see the best doctor. Like I had those options in that choice, even though I wasn't working. If I was a nurse, I would have had to have gone on disability. I would have been on family medical leave. I would have been fighting that whole situation, but I didn't have to deal with that. And so 7 out of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck, meaning if their paycheck does not come in, they cannot pay their bills. That is the reality of it. And there are systems in place and things. And if you are watching this, you have access to technology. And so, you can make a different life for yourself if you decide that you want to do that. Nobody can do it for you, right? Nobody's going to save us except ourselves. 100%, it is my belief, of people who understand residual income, who really get it, they are you would not be in a vehicle that's creating it if you really understand it. So, 100% of people who understand it are in a vehicle for it. 100% of people who don't understand it are not, because there's no way that you would not be if you really understand it. And for me, again, I had to have it. And what's that language? Oh, well, I don't really know. I wouldn't be able to afford anything. For me, I just ate. I'm in the food industry, so, I was eating already, so no biggie on that. But the other dad, his rich dad, forbade those words to be used. One dad had the saying, I can't afford it. He insisted, how can I afford it? One is a statement and the other is a question. One lets you off the hook. The other one forces you to think. You guys, your greatest asset too is right here. It's between those ears. Are you using it, right? So $1 million right now, or a penny that doubles, but for only 30 days. And so I want you to think, okay, so it's 1 cent, 2 cent, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, $1.28. So on day 8, you have $1.28. So that pattern's going to keep repeating itself, but only for 30 days, and then it's going to stop. Or would you rather $1 million? Well, if you don't understand geometric progression or the compounding effect, like I did not when I started, I thought that I would have wanted the $1 million. And so, thinking about that this penny comes to over $5 million, that's pretty impressive from just duplicating itself, from compounding effects. And so, if we don't have something that's creating geometric progression and compounding in our lives, we're missing the boat. But what happens is I think that people do think of things should be get rich, get quick, or overnight success or something like that. And it's like, no, it takes time to create an asset, a vehicle of wealth. Again, I was willing to go work for, go to college for 6 years and then go work for somebody. But if I stopped working, I stopped getting paid. So to get involved in concepts like this, oh, that's crazy. She's a weirdo doing that network marketing thing, direct sales things. Don't think so, Holmes. You be right, I'll be rich. So that's a good one. You guys can take that one to the bank. That's from Jeffrey Combs. But on day 15, again, you're less than $200. But again, it's this compounding's happening, so stay with it. And so I see that people have a misconception of getting rich quick or overnight success when it's just not the reality. So thinking about concepts, and you can take your income or your job. Do I trade mine for money? If I was disabled, would I start creating less income? Am I creating wealth? Or do I call it the slave check, right? They pay us just enough to keep quitting, and we work just hard enough to get paid. And it's every 2 weeks that we get paid, so we keep showing up. It's kind of like that slavery, that bondage on us. And again, making a living, but time is not your own. You're really told what you have to do. And so this is an example. This red line is linear growth over time. You hope it goes up, again, as a nurse, $1.50 raise. And then geometric, though, is compounding. So that compounding, like that penny. And so again, you guys, it's about freedom. It's just it's choice for me, and it's creating a lifestyle. But again, your income can continue. And so again, these are concepts of paying interest that people are okay with doing, that, nobody's telling them that they're crazy for having credit cards or paying interest on, student loans. But interest is so we're borrowing money, right, before we can maybe get something. And then we're going to pay interest on that. And then the difference, though, when you're earning interest is an example of okay, you have money in the bank and the bank is paying you for your money being there, right? So again, you're earning money on your money, or you're paying money to have money. You got to get over to the other side. If you want ease in your life, if you want more peace, financial freedom, you have to get on that other side. That compounding effect, you guys. Over time, compounding interest makes so much more than simple interest. And I think that that penny is like the prime example, because again, it starts duplicating what took us so long, 15 days, and it wasn't even $200, but then on the tail end, it becomes, over 5 million. So that concept. And, I have people that's like, oh, well, that takes too long. I don't have time to 5 years, 6 years to, create something for myself. Well, 40 years at a job to stay broke, that's not long? Like, are you kidding me? Or like to not have an asset where, if you want to close your doors or people aren't dependent on you, Colleen, time and money, freedom equals ease and peace. A doctor, a dentist who builds this, it's because she's a smart lady. I actually have a picture in here from you, Colleen. Oh, just like we're in a health crisis, we're in a college debt crisis. And again, I'm not saying college is bad. I'm just saying like these are concepts that people are okay with. And this is 2015. The most recent stats that I found was about 2018, the average cost of room and board for a public in-state is over $20,000. And that's not crazy. People are willing to pay that, right, to go get a job. And so the average student loan borrower right now, when they're getting out, they're about $37,000 in debt. I know people that are $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 in debt. I know people that they simply go back for their master's because they really can't afford to pay their student loans. And so they defer them. And so they compound even more because, again, what are you doing? You're paying interest. You're paying it. You're not earning interest. And these concepts we don't think are crazy, but we think something like an online marketing in an industry of consumable products is crazy, or like, people aren't proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to be a network marketer. I am proud to be a part of a company, in the wellness industry, making a difference in the health crisis. And, you look at 2 to 8% front-loaded loans. You guys, if we don't think this is crazy, why on earth do we think reallocating some money to some consumable products is crazy? 15 years ago, Colleen, $200,000 in dental school. It is up to $400,000 now. You guys, people probably look at Colleen and they think, oh, she's got, but again, debt. So she saw this vehicle of like, oh my gosh, let me pay that down, these concepts. And so like, it's, you can even think that this wouldn't be for somebody, but don't judge somebody by what they do or the kind of house that they live in, because again, we got to have assets. We got to have assets, not liabilities, and stop paying this interest. Credit cards, guys, average 16%. 16% is the average on credit cards. Like, which again, I'm not knocking somebody for using a credit card. I'm just saying, if this is acceptable in your life, why wouldn't something like creating residual passive income be acceptable for you? So this is the amount of income that you would have to have in the bank if your bank was paying you 3% interest. If you have a bank that's paying you 3% interest, lock arms with them. And so this is weekly. So if you were being paid, if you were receiving a residual passive income check of $54 a week, $2,818 a year, you would have to have $93,000 in the bank. 93. So here most people are, they're getting out to go, work. And I think the average income that I saw was like $35,000 for people that are getting out of school to $60,000. That's the average. So obviously, depending on where you live and whatnot. So people are basically in debt for what their yearly salary is. And here, again, let's talk about getting paid interest. This is the amount that you would have to have in the bank. So when I talk about, creating the equivalent of $20 million, because I'm looking at, well, what's my passive income coming in? Like, what's that residual passive income that's coming in? And again, even after I'm like putting my investment to, do an online business, because I don't have products that I, buy up front. So I'm looking at that, what I'm earning per week is like the equivalent of having $20 million in the bank at a 3% interest. That's amazing. So concepts. So what is your biggest expense, do you think? I know mine was my mindset starting out. But that was it. I'm switching that, still learning and growing. So your monthly, think about that, your monthly nut, right? For the squirrels. Housing, debt, student loans, auto loans, minimum monthly payment on your credit cards if you can't even pay more to pay it down, health insurance premium, childcare. Childcare, that's like a job in itself. I can't believe what childcare costs. I don't know how families do it. Utilities, then you're talking about, okay, emergencies. Well, let's not even have vacation on there because, who has time for relaxation or living a life when you're so busy, going to work. Long-term goals. So what is your business expense that you have for yourself? And again, as a nurse, I received, $1,200 take home every 2 weeks. That was it, guys. And gosh, I don't even have a family of kids that I had to provide for. So if you think one of these is your biggest expense, you're wrong. Taxes are. So taxes, that's a whole nother presentation that I will save everybody from. People don't realize what they're paying in taxes. And unlike other things, your taxes are non-negotiable, right? That's, you have to pay those. You can maybe adjust other things in your life, but taxes, with or without your consent, got to do those. So if you think about all the different ways that we're paying taxes, honestly, having a home-based business is a reason alone for to do it, really, just for tax benefits, for legitimate tax benefits. But you are constantly paying. Next time you get a check, look at what they're taking out. Look at that. It is disgusting. I'm all good for paying my fair share and portion and putting things in, but it's am I paying too much, or am I using the tools that I can use to, not pay as much? Because I'm a firm believer that when we have our money, we do more amazing things when we give it to a third party person, and we give more too, and we contribute more. So that's a whole nother presentation. But I just want to give you an example of this, and this was back from a couple years ago. So if there's changes on that, I'm not trying to give tax advice. I have an amazing accountant. But just again, concepts for you to think about. So if you were doing $100,000 per year, let's say, married and filing jointly, and $32,000 of that is going to go to good old Uncle Sam. I mean, if you're okay with that, and you don't want to find ways that are legitimate ways of bringing your largest expense down, your taxes, I don't know which side of the quadrant that falls on, wealthy or poor, but I know for me, it's a very big factor in me factoring things in, is that my accountant is blown away by how simple the network marketing business is. Yay! So you guys start, anything that I see about taxes, lowering your taxes, there's not one resource that I haven't seen about not having a home-based business. Because again, it's legitimate write-offs that you're operating from. So network marketing is the vehicle that I chose for startup. And honestly, even if I had, money coming in, we do we take our passive residual income and we put it in other things that then compound and grow it even more. But it's I will never stop sharing this vehicle because it's the vehicle that came into my life that gifted me first with my health, but then it gave me these concepts and started to create that additional excess income. Not that people are living paycheck to paycheck. We have to find a way, not that 10 ways to boost your wealth, the beginning part of that stuff. How can I start creating excess passive income? Robert Kiyosaki, it's more important to learn how to grow your income than cut your expenses, right? Well, how can I get into this whole investor mindset? Network marketing. Again, there wasn't even any overhead for me because I ate. So that's what I love about Isogenics is I ate. And again, health is our greatest wealth. So what is the fastest way, I want to ask you right now, if you didn't have a large investment, that you're going to take yourself from here over here? Or are you going to go back to school and get a doctorate degree like Colleen has on here, right? Be a dentist, have her own practice and, come out with $400,000 in debt. And if her dental practice is not open, guess what? Money is not being made. Leverage. So what are you going to do to take yourself on the right side of the quadrant? And I want to ask you, who do you listen to? Stop taking advice from broke, unhappy people, from cousin or brother, sister, parents. If they tell you that this, that network marketing thing, no, there are so many people creating 6 and 7 figure income. There's so many people creating an additional $200, $500, $1,000 a month. In my industry, company, people eating for free. Stop listening to that. But again, it's not just, get rich quick, do nothing. But would you switch lives with the people that you're taking advice from sometimes? That's a good one to ask yourself. So you look at these, millionaires and billionaires, Richard Branson, Bill Gates. If I was given a chance to start all over again, I would choose network marketing. There, you know, you look at Warren Buffett, Donald Trump, Richard Branson. Again, these guys all know something about wealth. They're all investors in MLM, multi-level marketing companies, right? Network marketing. I don't really consider to be an MLM because I don't get paid on levels, but just that industry alone, like it's, even if you're in MLM, like you guys, people that are very wealthy and know what they're talking about, they support it because they understand it. The richest people in the world look for, you know, networks. They look for network building. Everyone else is trained to look for work. I mean, you got to ask yourself. So this is the book that exposed me. So, you know, when I started Isagenix, again, I was a night shift nurse. I was just living on Red Bull coffee, Diet Mountain Dew. I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. That was it. My dear friend Jennifer, who, you know, they were really already wealthy, husband, extremely successful, also a cosmetic dentist. And, you know, she had done modeling. They were very well off. She didn't need to build this business. But what do wealthy people do? They look for multiple streams of income, right? They see a good opportunity and they take it. And so she shared Isagenix with me. And you guys, if you would have told me 6 years ago this is something I'd be doing, I did not think so. But these concepts, I got it when I read it. And the 4-year career, how to make your dreams of fun and financial freedom come true, or not, or not, I just said yes. And 5 years later, here I am sitting in the Cayman Islands with my girl Stephanie, who uses Isagenix to send her kids to school so they get out without being in that massive amount of debt, starting their life out in, oh my gosh, debt, you know, mission trips and all that. Oh, there's so many things that you can do. But 5 years later, I was sitting here in the Cayman Islands with my sister and Stephanie, you know, Stephanie, complete stranger before this. And it was like, it's because I said yes to the 4-year career. Well, I said yes to it going to college. Why wouldn't I put that same amount of time, energy, and effort in getting a freaking college degree as I would to create an asset of residual income in a recession-proof industry that I choose, food. So Colleen, this is your picture. So this is me reading The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. But you guys, network marketing can be a dynamite vehicle for wealth. Again, this isn't even a network marketing book, okay? The vast majority of millionaires became rich by being in their own business. But I didn't have business skills. I didn't have anybody to learn from. Like, that's what I love about this industry is the company, they just take you in, all the training and skills, like that stuff's there. Guys, $20,000 to $50,000 per month. That's right. Per month is not uncommon. It only works if you do. You know, key. But again, compared to what? Working for 40 years as a nurse for, you know, 12 to 40 hours, you know, a week, or, you know, 12-hour to 14-hour shifts for 40 hours, you know, a week to then retire on 40% of what I struggled to live on in the beginning, the 40-40-40 plan. I don't think so, right? Not for me. Again, if that is for you, like, that's fine, but not for me, not when I saw that there was a better way. And again, I don't think that a lot of people like sales. I personally, you know, I'm not a salesperson. I don't consider. I'm passionate when I see value in something. I want to share it. I feel morally obligated to share concepts that have set me free. These are some things that I thought when I first saw these concepts, though, too good to be true, right? Poor mindset. It's one of those things. Poor mindset. That only works if you get up at the ground floor. Poor mindset, that's actually 90% of network marketing direct companies fail at ground floor. So that's just a concept too. So I like having a stable one personally. One of those pyramid things, I'm not a salesperson. I don't have a large enough network to do something. I didn't have a large network when I started. I really didn't know anything about social media. Really wasn't on it except to stalk my at then time boyfriend, who's now my husband, whose birthday is today. Just had our anniversary. And that was really the only, I had like 200 Facebook friends, maybe, had no idea how to use it or network. And thinking, okay, well, I don't have a lot of money to, you know, start anything up. But again, I ate. And so I took money that I was already spending and reallocated it. You know, I discourage anybody from, you know, getting any amount of food that they can't personally consume themselves. I know our company does too. And it's like, okay, well, crap, I guess it's time for a second job or work more. Let's just work harder, get overtime. You know, what would my friends and family think? Ooh, there's a big one. Honestly, guys, is people, you know, friends and family, like, if they're not going to support you in your dreams or whatever, like, next, you know, they'll come back. You're not leaving them or forgetting about them, but it's like, get around people who will support you. I don't care if your friends and family don't support you right now. Find somebody who will. There's tribes out there. And again, for me, all I did was eat. So what we're doing is we are sharing things that we believe can benefit another person. And when I hear people, they're like, oh, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. You're going to have to learn some new things. This is not about selling ice to an Eskimo. An Eskimo does not need ice. Maybe a knife, maybe a fur coat, maybe a gun, something that is of value to them, right? So it's all about helping somebody. And that's my favorite thing about this industry is the lives that you're going to change. All right, pyramid schemes. Is that a pyramid scheme? First off, pyramid schemes are illegal. You know, like if somebody asks you, are you in a pyramid scheme? Are you thinking about a pyramid scheme? What's a pyramid scheme? It ain't even gonna know because again, they're illegal. But if you draw out any corporate structure, it's going to look like a pyramid. So we, direct sales is a very viable business. And I use nursing because I was a nurse. So plug yourself in. No matter how hard as a nurse that I worked, I was never going to get to the CEO of the hospital. And there's only one CEO of the hospital. I actually out-earn a good majority of people above me because I'm producing more, right? There's more service and product that's being moved through because I probably talk about it a little bit more. I'm a little bit passionate about this whole thing. And so, even if I'm working next to a nurse that might be, gosh, I'm picking up their slack or they're not good, we could still be being paid the same because you're paid based on a title, not paid based on production. So again, it's thinking completely different about that concept. So, all right, well, think about like the NFL put in $9.5 billion back in 2012. Music industry, 16.5, video gaming, 67, movie industry. Those are all pretty good industries that nobody thinks is crazy or, oh, that must be a scam. There's products and services, right? Like how else do we move product and services? Is, real estate. Like somebody's got to sell the house, do you? Right? Oh, it's a scam, real estate. No, yes, car salesman, that's a scam. No. Now that is on the left side of the quadrant, exchanging time for money, but not a scam. And network marketing, you guys, $167 billion in 2012. And in 2016, it even went up, right, to 182 in global. And so it is an amazing industry. And remember, all those things about Uber, Amazon, Facebook, Airbnb, like I don't own stuff. I have my computer, I have a hotspot, and I have a cell phone. All those things I would have had anyways, but they're business expenses now. And so and again, I have a multi-billion-dollar company backing me up. The difference in network marketing and direct sales is this. Robin Dunda, this was the most epic slide I think I've ever seen in concept of laid out. So in direct sales, think about a house or car, right? You work really hard. And then, but what happens when you stop selling? You stop making money when the exchange is stopping, right? When your effort stops. And so knock yourself out. Buy as many sales as you want for $1, turn around something to make $5 million. Now, network marketing. You guys, what we do in general, and I don't know, you're not in the company Isogenics, how it works for you per se, or, if you're looking at something else, but for me, what it works is I open up people online grocery food stores, online vending machines of wellness food. And, anything then after I make that initial opening, then there's bonuses on that, but bonuses don't excite me nearly as much as residual. Then anything that ever moves through that vending machine though, I collect a percentage. I can be sitting on a beach, sleeping somewhere, and the company is doing all the work for me. They're doing the shipping, the handling, they source the products around the world. They do the third-party testing. They do all the work for me. I eat it, love it, share it. That's what I eat it, love it, share it. And so, again, most network marketing, that's going to be the concept that it follows. And so I love this industry. For me, though, again, what I love about food is that it's not an additional expense. And then my market isn't shut down by anybody. So it's from men to women to, kids to adults to the elite athlete to the couch potato. So that's what I love about food is that it's completely reallocated. So, I had to make a choice that being happy and free became more important than being right about my concepts about network marketing. I mean, same thing with the nutrition. I was skeptical about, the Isogenics nutrition when I started. I thought I was going to do this thing for 30 days, get a jump start on, a little bit of weight loss. I had no idea that it was about wellness and, just the food industry of, GMOs, herbicides, pesticides, all that's a whole nother presentation. And again, I had to let go of what anybody else was going to be thinking. And I'm telling you, people will see, people are learning too. I mean, network marketing is becoming a wave of the future. Just again, creating online streams of income. It's I just can't, whoever's not doing it, they just cannot possibly understand it. When I think of rich, I think of the relationships in my life. I think of, having that income, just because it provides choice. Again, it just gives me that choice, and then health and happiness. And so it's like, I want these things in my life, and, I want these things for other people. But what I have learned is that you can't want it more for somebody else than they want it for themselves. And so, if you're thinking about this, like, you want to be thinking of people, again, who want a different life, who are willing to stretch themselves to grow. And, it's not an overnight thing. And we all start at different places in our mindset based on, all the past programming that we've had about things. And so it's a growth journey of who you're going to become. You guys, my earnings are not, you don't think of them as typical or average. My highest month to date has been $57,000 in the Isagenix compensation plan. Again, $20,000 to $50,000 is not uncommon in network marketing. And I know people who, create that as well. My friend who shared it with me, who's been doing it, for a year and a little bit, maybe change longer than me, she creates, $100,000 months. I want you to write down this. I praise the 19,231 club. If you're earning $19,231 a week, you're $1 million a year earner. And I have, there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to get myself to $100,000 a month. And the fact that I even have that opportunity in this vehicle, when, again, my overhead is the food I eat and the time that I invest in learning some things, right? If I decide I want to go to an event or a book or a CD that I read, hello. But you can, again, always go to isagenixearnings.com, but your input of what you put in is what you're going to get out. And guys, I was hungry for richness. I was hungry for it. I had to have it. So ask yourself, how important is it for you to have this richness grow in your life? I'll touch a little bit on the vehicle that I use, and why I choose Isagenix in the network marketing industry. I do believe that we are the ambassadors for the industry from what I've seen, from people that I've worked with that have been in the industry. Is every company in network marketing great? No. Is every company in the industry great? No. But really, if you know a little bit of the history of the company of Isagenix and Kathy Coover and Jim Coover, just Kathy Coover was an associate like myself, and she went to the top in 3 companies, and they would always let her down, or the product didn't, hold up the standard, or they would change the comp plan. And so she stepped out of the industry burnt. Jim Coover had taken some struggling companies to $1 billion. He's brilliant on the business aspect of it. And the product, though, the reason why that they stepped out of retirement was really for the product. And you guys, Isagenix, we don't have the goal to be the largest network marketing company in the world, the largest health and wellness company in the world, and to really free people from physical and financial pain, right? If somebody wants to participate in that financial vehicle, about 85% of people are just going to consume the food. So again, it's not going to be for everybody, and that's okay to do the opportunity side. Some people just cannot get past that fear, or they don't want to get past that, putting in that effort in the initial couple of years before they might see the, huge incomes that people are talking about, and really keep, working for it. So, you can't, but it doesn't matter. It's for the people who want it. That's what's so exciting. But the food is for everybody, and that's about the product. So when they saw this product and John Anderson's No Compromise, you guys, we had one of our doctors on a call last night for our team, and the amount of herbicides, pesticides, toxins in a body, just again, GMOs that are happening, the lack of nutrition that is in food. We are in a crisis, and diets don't work. And this, we're Informed Sports certified. I had a gentleman share with me he was down at a testing facility, and there was rat poop in beverages. All right, the supplement industry, and that only a small percentage of what's on the label is even in the product. With Isagenix, 100% of what's in the label is in the product, and we're Informed Sports certified that validates that. And again, from somebody that is an elite athlete to somebody that needs to lose 100 pounds, 200 pounds. We have a 450-pound club. Everybody eats, and we are very deficient. There's over 80% of vitamins and minerals are not in the food. So even if you're a clean eater, and so again, product, that's massive. Training and support, second to none. Kathy Coover, all the tools in the world, the corporate team that I have become very dear friends with, many of them. And then I'm going to talk about the compensation plan. So for me, multi-level marketing in form of getting paid on levels would not be something that I would personally do. I'm not knocking that at all. I think it's still great if you're creating passive and residual income. That's awesome. But I want to be paid on my entire organization. I do not want it to go to like a level 5, level 6, level 7 pay plan. And again, I don't want to be involved with a product that is not as consumable as food. I want my monthly repurchases out of those vending machines to be very high if I'm going to be injecting my time in it, right? So like thinking about those concepts with the compensation plan are massive. I'm going to share with you the very basic idea of our minimum amount as a consultant, which is somebody who has two consumers that duplicates. But you know, I really just want to get that idea of just kind of geometric and just kind of what could happen. But in Isagenix, the compensation plan, we get paid on our entire organization. We get to re-enroll above ourselves. There's no flushing of volume. If you're not in network marketing, that might not you know, click with you. There's no, you know, at the end of the quarter, you don't use it, you lose it, or, you know, day, you know, the month starting over, you got to call, hit a certain amount of retail sales, none of that. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds stressful. So for me, Isagenix is the creme de la creme, but I'm probably a little biased. And again, I'm a supporter of network marketing. But you know, when I look at just concepts, I want it consumable. Air and water, I guess, are more consumable, but you know, air filters and water filters, I appreciate people who distribute those. But it's, again, how many, you know, are you going through a month? So the products are the products too, guys. Everything is backed by science, third-party studies. And if you're interested in learning more about that, or you have people, you know, use the tools on that, we have tons of presentations that are on the products, but I always say the products are the products. So this is how the business side works for somebody that's in network marketing, is we use products, we share products, we find customers, and then we identify people who want to share it casually. So people who, for me, they just want to eat for free. Or I find people who see what I saw and they're like, you know what, screw that 40-40-40 plan, right? They're like Colleen, where, you know, owns her own business, very, you know, successful business owner, but she wants that passive, that asset. So if you're on here, you have a cell phone. You have $1 million business opportunity literally in your hand. Are you using it? So this is what I teach guys. You plus two, them plus two. It's a wellness movement. It is a wellness movement. And you guys, we only have one body. And so if we don't take care of it, like, where else are we going to live? And this is not about, oh my gosh, like, you know, if you love to eat, I'm like, then definitely Isagenix. So what I always say though is, do you know anyone who doesn't eat? That's the only requirement, is that you eat. And thinking about people who want to continue their quality of life and health, or they want to improve it. And guys, the organic craze, people, you know, looking at, okay, where's dairy sourced from? Whole Foods, people are really becoming educated. The gluten issues, the GI issues, people want to know vegan. This is on the rise. We play in every single one of those. Oh, it's so exciting. Performance athletes, look at GNC, Vitamin Shop, all those things. And again, if it's not something that's Informed Sport certified, be careful with what you're getting. The people have a right to be very, very skeptical about supplements and the nutrition industry, because it is just awful. You look at Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts are, you know, vitamins and minerals for kids. Pop-Tarts. Marketing. So weight loss, healthy aging. You guys, athlete, weight loss, and healthy aging, multi-billion-dollar industries alone. Just convenience. I've worked with so many people who have been meal preppers, or, you know, eating Whole Foods, the Whole30, and when they get on the rebalancing system, like the changes that they see, the products don't lie. The science is there. People put it in the testimony. People who want to pay off debt, not just pay it down. Let's pay that sucker off, right? So then we're going to start money making us money. We're going to start earning interest instead of paying interest. Leverage, more choices, better relationships. Like, do you know people who fall into these categories? Because if you do, and even if you don't, what do you think the chances of you meeting somebody are? There's billion people on Facebook alone? Like, there's probably a pretty high chance of it. So again, people are already spending money on food. And if you like pizza and wings, then this might be for you too. So I always say cellular rebalancing is needed if you like to splurge some. So I had to throw that in there because my sister captured that and we thought it was really funny. Right? It's about lifestyle balance. So with Isogenics, what I do is 100 points. If you're in network marketing, every single product has like a point value that you look at. I personally don't know anybody who doesn't do like $150 a month on food. You break that down, gosh, one of our meals, I mean, you talk about, $3.25. Like you're not going to eat at Taco Bell for that. So for me, that I'm putting better nutrition in my body, right? That pizza and wings was probably like $50. People eat pizza and wings. Like, don't tell me you can't afford no health food for $3.25 a meal if you eat pizza and wings. But again, that's my inventory, and it allowed me to get in geometric, to turn a yearly income into a monthly income. But less time I was able to do that than the amount of time I was in college. So this is my whole comp plan that I play around. Again, the you share, I call it you help, then they will help. But my question to you is this, you guys, again, 85% of people really do just consume our food. And again, if you're in a different company or like apply it to yourself, like how does this apply for you? But over time, my question is this, do you think that you can educate two people on your left and two people on your right, again, because I don't go wide, I don't get paid on levels, we get paid on our entire organization deep. And it's like, and they kept sharing it. People who had an emotional response to products that changed their life. I can't tell you, I get calls. I have my husband back. I have my wife back. My kids have their mom back. Like I feel good. I'm able to run again. I don't have to just sleep on the couch. I have energy. Like that impacts somebody's life. And then people, morally feel compelled to share. But I'm taking that out. I'm talking about two people that you have shared it with on your left and right, because that's all you have in Isogenics, who get these concepts, and this would keep duplicating. 4 people, each enroll 4. Now you're at 16, right? 16 people, kind of like that penny. 16 people, each open 4 more accounts of online grocery stores for people. Now you have a total of 64 people. 64 people help 4 people each get their online grocery store. And so that's 256. So now you have a total of 340 people. If they were just consuming the absolute minimum amount to be able to like play in the comp plan at our residual aspect at a consultant level. Again, if you want to see the whole comp plan, let me know. But guys, that's $2,000 a month in residual income if you just help 4 people get amazing nutrition in their body, and that duplicated down. And people were just doing the minimum. I can do that minimum so easy. I mean, it's literally 2/3 of mine and Michael's grocery bill. And so like, how would you like to earn, off of people's grocery bill? Again, so consumable. Oh, massive quantum leap. Again, here comes that geometric, that compounding effect. And again, because we don't get paid on levels, like this applies for our comp plan. And guys, that would be over $200,000 of groceries moving through your organization if it just was a replication from your original 4. That's over $8,000 a month in residual income. Remember how much money you needed to have in the bank to start earning passive residual income? Take it a step further. Bam, right there. It's the 8th wonder of the world. That's over $32,000 a month in residual income. So in Isogenics, our 6%, we can build our business centers to $53,000 and our 6% passive, but then we get to re-enroll above ourselves. So then all of that we get to use in our next centers and even use our initial effort that has nothing to do with then the executive 10%. If you have 10 people who eat, then who know 2 people who eat, and it has to do with our bonus structure, literally just that kind of minimum. But even if this was just it, and this took me 20 years to achieve, my retirement plan was not going to do this. And like, what do you even know about your retirement plan other than it's not going to go below 0? Not that exciting. We're paying taxes on the harvest instead of the seed. We can't touch it until a certain amount of time. So it's like seeing these concepts. Where do you want to be in 3, 5, 10 years? Like, ask yourself that. And again, these are, I'm an independent associate of my company. My views and presentation doesn't reflect them as far as, how I explain it. But do you see that? Like, yeah, I hope that you do. I hope that you're in a vehicle that does. I hope the next time that you see a friend or somebody promoting network marketing or direct sales that don't gawk at them or think that they're crazy. If your friend opened up a shoe store, would you go support them and buy shoes from there? If your friend opened up a bar, would you go support them and go eat, there? Well, if you want to put some good nutrition in your body, how about supporting your friend and getting some good nutrition from there? If you want to go buy makeup, how about, buying it from a friend, right? So it's like, that does it, like supporting home-based businesses. I just know people are struggling. you know, with their health, first and foremost, you guys, that's the biggest movement, is changing people's health. And then, you know, I know people are struggling financially, and it's like, you could change the course of your future, your family's future, your children's future in the next 3, 5, 10 years. And, you know, but again, it only works if you do. And so just, you know, if you can sleep tonight, and these are new concepts, I didn't do you justice. But I remember when I couldn't sleep, because like I had to create this. And again, like, what's easier? Like, for me, it was educating people on eating this nutrition, you know, and then showing them how to educate people how to get their own online nutrition accounts of food far better than you're going to find in the grocery store. And so that I got to work on that, because there was nothing that I could have thought of that I could have done to start getting this amount of money in the bank, to then start, you know, earning 3%, to then earning that. Or again, you know, working more, picking up more shifts, to then just pay off credit card debt or student loans. Like, when I saw this, I had to have it. Nothing changes unless you make a change. My sister's down 100 pounds. So, you know, we have so many resources. You know, if the network marketing vehicle excites you, awesome. If, you know, being in the food industry and wellness and impacting people's health excites you, awesome. You know, if not, still take those previous concepts and find a vehicle that will allow you to start doing that and getting on the right side of the quadrant. But I know that these things are possible for everybody to have just joy in their life, and to increase happiness in, you know, these areas: spiritual, emotional, physical, financial, relational. But I also know, you know, if you're working all the time, you don't have time freedom. And time freedom to enjoy these things is important, to enjoy your family. So I appreciate everybody who checked out this info, and I hope that it inspired you to, you know, just share the story one more time, or learn a little bit of something, or pick up one of those books. So be the change by changing it for yourself, and it's a rippling effect. So, all right, guys, everybody have a good night, and I will see you guys online, social media. Bye.